It was exactly 3:17 in the morning when she assumed I was deep asleep. I lay perfectly still, my back turned to her, every breath slow and measured like a statue carved from silence. The door creaked just enough to break the quiet, followed by the soft padding of footsteps sinking into the thick carpet. Then came the gentle slip of heels removed with careful precision, like a teenager sneaking back in past curfew. Carrying a faint cloud of cologne I didn't recognize, sharp and unfamiliar. She moved with the furtiveness of someone convinced the darkness could hide the stains of guilt she carried like a shadow. But I wasn't asleep, not for a long time. Every suspicious shift in her routine, every last-minute excuse, every vague explanation had piled up into a fortress of doubt inside me. She eased herself into the bed beside me, her weight sinking the mattress with practiced ease. A soft, satisfied sigh escaped her lips, as if the night had been exhausting in all the way she wanted it to be. In that moment, everything fell into place. I knew not only that she had been lying, but that she felt no shame. She believed my silence was ignorance, that I was still the fool she could deceive with endless spinning stories. But I had already uncovered the truth. There were bank statements riddled with charges from places she swore she never visited, a second phone hidden away like a secret weapon, even a hotel reservation booked under a name she once used back when we were still falling for each other. The same little tricks she once used to charm me were now the weapons she wielded to betray me. That was the cut that bled the deepest. I didn't explode that night. No shouts, no demands. Instead, I let the silence speak, because sometimes a quiet cuts sharper than any scream. While she was out at what she claimed was a last-minute networking dinner, I prepared my final move. I cleared my side of the closet. Clothes, shoes, the framed wedding photo she insisted should always remain in the center, now gone. My side of the bed was stripped bare, the dresser drawers emptied, the safe unlocked and cleared, my name erased from the lease, the bills transferred, the Netflix account canceled. And then there was the envelope. It rested on her pillow like a silent judge, waiting for the moment she'd turn and kiss me goodnight. Inside, divorce papers already signed and dated with one single line scrolled in thick black ink. I hope he was worth it. I didn't stay to watch her find it. Instead, I parked down the street and watched the bedroom light flicker on minutes later. The blinds never closed all the way, and through the slats, I saw her silhouette frozen by the bed. I imagined her hand brushing the envelope, her shoulders stiffening, the sharp catch of breath in her throat. I didn't need to see her face. I had already played that moment over 100 times in my mind. The shock, the crushing realization. The instant she knew, I wasn't the fool she'd believed. Her calls came before dawn. 30 in total, voicemails all the same. Panicked, desperate disbelief wrapped in the voice that once felt like home. I didn't answer. I refused to give her the comfort of a fight. I had spent too many nights pouring myself into someone who drained every last drop of me dry. Instead, I checked into a quiet guest house on the edge of town. The owner handed me the keys with a warm smile, no questions asked. The first morning, there I woke without the suffocating weight of suspicion pressing down on my chest. I made coffee, sat by the window, and watched the sunrise spill gold over a world where I was no longer chained to her lies. Freedom came with its own kind of ache. Walking away is never clean or simple. That night I cried. I shouted into a pillow. I mourned not just the death of a marriage, but the loss of the version of myself that stayed too long, hoping things might change. Still amid the grief, something solid and unbreakable settled deep inside me. I had chosen truth, and that choice was worth every tear. 2 weeks passed without a word from me. Friends reached out, confused and cautious. My aunt stayed the same. She didn't speak of the betrayal, but made sure everyone knew how I vanished, how I became cold and distant, as if it was expected that I'd swallow the lies. Night after night. Then one morning, I opened the door of the cabin where I was staying, and there she was. No makeup, hair pulled back, eyes swollen from sleepless nights. She looked at me like I was a stranger from a life she once knew, uncertain, and aching, desperate for something familiar. She whispered, "Can we talk?" I stepped aside, not out of pity, but to finally close the chapter. She walked in slowly, her gaze flickering across the bare wooden walls. We sat across from each other, the silence thick between us. She began to explain how it wasn't supposed to happen, how she felt empty inside, how the other man made her feel alive in ways she thought I never could. Her voice cracked, tears spilling over like the floodgates of regret. When she finally stopped, I spoke the only 7 words I'd rehearsed since that night. I knew everything. You lost me the moment you lied. The room fell silent.
She reached
for my hand, trembling like she once reached for forgiveness. But I didn't move. I let her fingers hover in the empty space between us, just like all the promises she'd left broken and unfulfilled. Then I stood, walked to the door, and held it open. Goodbye. She didn't plead or beg. She just stepped out into the cold morning. Light finally beginning to understand what it means to have nothing left to hold on.